Hey, konnichiwa. This is Gray from Wakizashi's tea house over in Japan. Feeling a little bit sick, a little bit not genki, but I wanted to go live and just see how everyone's doing because it's been a while. Great to see people in the chat. I'm really paranoid, so I'm going to check if the sound's on. Here we go. How everyone's doing because it's been a while. Oh, it sounds good. There's the delay. I'm really paranoid. So let's have a look. Who's here? Go through. We've got some weirdo called Wakizashi's tea house, and then we got Shelby AC. How you doing? Almost to 1k. Yes, I do feel like but I also feel like never gonna get there. I tell you, the last few weeks it's like trickling. I'll gain a couple, then I'll lose a couple, and I've had some videos which have done pretty well, you know, especially that cosplay one, which was terrible quality. I know that's my fault, but it seemed to catch a little bit of the algorithm. You know how many subs I got from that? 0. And the latest Batman issue which just came out, I reviewed it early. For me it was yesterday, so last night, so it's today. What day is it? Is it Tuesday in America? Because it's Wednesday in Japan, 1:30 p.m. So yeah, that was doing well. How many subs have got from that? Can you guess? Yeah, absolutely 0. So, Shieldwall the Dragons, nice to see you, mate. I hope you're good. You're balmy. Nice one. Hail, are you good? You Genki? Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping in recently and watching, you know, the last couple of videos. I really appreciate it. Gray, did you order KFC Christmas cake yet? No, I haven't. Haven't ordered anything. This video is going to be a little bit of a confession from me. I'm feeling very non-Christmassy at the moment. It's one of the things that's kind of hit me about living in Japan. You know, I've been here so long now. I've been here coming up to 20 years. It'll be my 20th Christmas in Japan. I've lost that Christmas feeling, guys and girls. I really lost it, and I'm feeling pretty down. That's being honest. Now, part of this is the Rona, the coof, whatever you want to call it, what I've got at the moment, which hasn't been too bad, but has left me with some insane emotions, weird dreams at night, like, you know, long epic dreams that seem to go on for days, and you wake up and it's only like 1:30 a.m. and you've only been asleep for, you know, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours. You're like, no, it's not morning yet, so I've got to go back and then have another dream just as mad, just as crazy. I don't remember reading about that in the symptoms, but I'll just say that I'm lucky because I don't have a sore throat, I don't have the terrible cough, you know, which you hear a lot. So yeah, there we go. But don't worry, I will be hopefully working back to my usual genkiness as soon as possible. Who else is here? Jacob Ironside. How are you, man? Are you good? Good to see you. See, look at this, the people in the chat making me smile. You've already made me feel better, so I really appreciate that. Thanks. This is great. I tell you, I've been working on that new intro. I thought I'll just throw something together quickly, you know, last minute. It was about, what time? I started working on it 12:30 my time, so about 3/4 of an hour ago. And I was giddy, as we say in Japanese. Giddy's like last minute, trying to get it finished in time. It's using some clips from some of my old comic book review videos with, you know, a nice bit of audio that I think, anyway, kind of chill you out as we count down to the live stream. Where are we? Shelby says it's fine. We can hear you fine. That's good. Thank you. I always get paranoid, you know, especially when I've not done a stream for a while on my own. I did a stream at the weekend where we reviewed Lady Snowblood, which is a great movie, by the way. Completely awesome. Completely bonkers. Check it out if you get the chance. So when I'm streaming with friends, it always seems to be, you know, fine. Even if my voice does tend to robot out sometimes. I don't know whether that's connection from Japan or whether it's usually when I try and share something. So if I'm sharing my screen, you know, or trying to bring up a photo, everything goes a bit robotic, like. It's really weird. Oh, thanks, Shelby. You too. I know you're probably not sick, but odaijini, take care of yourself and everybody out there. I tell you, your health is so important. Isn't that right? I know it's an old cliche, but you don't miss it until you've lost it, until it's gone, do you? Now, I know I might sound a bit dramatic, but I tell you, man, it was weird this time last week. It kind of kicked in on, for me, late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. I woke up and I was feeling a bit hot, You just know straight away something's not right. Your body feels weird. No cough, no, as I say, no sore throat, nothing else. And I had big shoulder, as we say in Japanese, katakori, stiff shoulders or shoulder and neck ache. Went to the doctors on that afternoon, and described my symptoms. He said, no, you don't need to have a PCR test, and prescribed me a shitload of cold medicine, which Japanese doctors love to do. They love giving you as much medicine as you can. Hey, he even threw in some eye drops because I said my eyes were a bit red. Not used eye drops in years. But anyway, digressing. So I didn't get better very quickly. That night I had a 39 and a half fever, which was pretty high. I couldn't sleep, came down, I was watching YouTube and live football at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, Japanese time. Called my brother because I was feeling a bit freaked out, and I didn't know what was going on. Started getting the brain fog then from that night, should say, the next day onwards. Now that has been weird. It's really hard to describe. It's not completely stupid, but you feel like you're a little bit high or a little bit drunk, without losing the physical side of your body, your motor functions. I just felt like I was underwater or something. Not all the time, but sometimes when people were talking to me, I'd just be I could hear what they were saying, but it wasn't going in. So weird. Hey, Angry Canadian. Oh, appreciate, mate. Thanks for dropping in. Can't stay, just dropping in to say hi. You're in a class at the moment. Mate, you get back to study, and good luck with your Japanese. I hope it's going well. Ganbatte ne. 私ね、日本語少し喋れるけど、今ね、脳がすごい、頭が壊れたから、全然わからない、全然話せない。It's crazy. And Shieldwall's saying, it's okay, Gray, you got a few more weeks to get it back. Looking for my genkiness. I'm looking for it, my mojo. It's somewhere, it's out there. I think it's lost in a crazy fever dream. But good news is all the fever's gone. That only lasted 2 days, the fever, and it was only at night it came on. A little bit in the morning, because I say I felt hot, I felt warm, but nighttime was crazy. The classic kind of shaking, rattling and rolling during the night. Shelby saying the most homesick I ever felt in Japan was Christmas time. Right? This is what started off this crazy waffle, isn't it? I'm from the UK, as you probably know, and I've grown up with that whole kind of Christmas feeling and getting excited as December dawns. We start to hear Christmas music first of all. Then you start watching a few things on TV, a few films, a few Christmas specials come out, getting you in the mood. Got the tree up, put this up yesterday. Left me out of breath just doing that. It looks really small, but for Japan, this is quite big. It's a shame. Maybe it's the angle. So yeah, that was good. I was trying to get in the mood. No lights. The lights are broken. I need to get new lights, but I've not been allowed out. Anyway, I'm okay now. What else? It's rough, right, Shelby? Yeah, I really miss it. What started this all off was, I think it was last week, Noporial did a review stream on Planes, Trains and Automobiles. Fantastic film. Now, I haven't seen that in years, and I know that's a Thanksgiving movie, but I put that on and it made me feel, the stirrings of Christmas. It's God, they really get it, don't they? American movies, maybe some British ones too. I'm not sure, but they really get that feeling, that making you feel feelings, feel emotions, how important it is to be with people, how important it is to have family or friends, especially this time of year. And at the time I was on my own, and I was suffering from the whatever you want to call it, the beer bug, feeling just really weird, feeling lonely, feeling a bit down. That's been part of the symptoms I've had as well. Don't normally get that, as you've seen in my streams. I'm usually very, very up and very genki, but man, I don't know what it is. I started thinking in Japan, I love being in Japan, I love living here, but man, I sometimes really miss that feeling, that Christmas. I can't even describe it. But anyway, after that, I was watching, what was next? I put on a few John Candy movies first of all, because John Candy, man, Candyman, John Candy, when he gets you in the right mood, when it hits the right spot. I think he was a genius. So cool. But God, I'm all over the place, aren't I? Can you tell? Sounds like a fever dream, says Shieldwall. I sound like a fever dream now, don't I? Cough syrup with codeine in it. Yeah, don't have any of that, unfortunately. And then Shelby saying, Gray, did you watch Carols at King's College? When I hear the kids sing, Once in Royal David City, makes me tear up. Right? Oh, man. God, you're bringing back memories. I used to be in the church choir, when I was a little boy in the UK. And I was very lucky. We had a very nice priest. Nothing bad happened to me. Just say that, okay? But yeah, so I do like to listen to Christmas carols, especially when it gets closer to the time, and especially around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. But again, putting them on in Japan, you're just like, it's kind of scratching your head thinking, this doesn't feel like Christmas. I don't know. Now, you could argue that it's a mental thing, maybe it's in my mind, but in Japan, it's just a normal day. The Christmas Eve is kind of a big thing with couples. It's a good night to go out on a date, have a nice romantic dinner, but it's not about, the Christmas feeling or the spirit. It's just about a good time to go out with your girlfriend or, your boyfriend, whatever. And then Christmas Day, if it falls on a weekday, it's a normal working day. And I couldn't get used to that to start with. That was weird, having to work, like, God knows, crazy hours in Japan. In my first job, it was 10 in the morning till 9 at night, probably on a Wednesday, Christmas Day. And I was just like sat there like, what is going on? Anyway, got Zaxx in the chat. Unbelievable, right? It's great going on a solo live stream. I tell you, I was looking forward to hopefully coming on Salty's live stream tonight for a bit, but he wasn't getting much interest or something, or maybe people were busy, so he's rescheduled it. So that was a shame. I was hoping to catch up with you guys. Yeah. Anyway, listen to me being all sad and lonely. Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Your Barmy, don't you just love it? I say it was great watching it for the first time in a long time, and man, I was in tears at the end, seriously. Now, I know I'm turning into a bit of an old softie as I've got older. I'm going to be 50 in a few weeks' time, which is insane. My God, second week in January. So I think, is it true they say that? Do you get a bit more emotional as you get older? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's all the drugs I did when I was young. They've fucked up my emotions. So it could be that. I don't know. Maybe. Hey, Magitech Mags, nice to see you in the chat. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm just on a bit of a waffle about missing Christmas, being in Japan. And I've got family here. Mrs. Wakizashi's here. But daughter's in Kyoto. She's been living there for a while now at uni. So I miss her. Hopefully she's coming back in time, or maybe just after Christmas, because as you probably know, the big thing in Japan is New Year. That's the celebration. That's the holiday. You get a lot of family traveling all over the country to get back to their hometown, to their family home, to their parents' house. God, I'm out of breath. Listen to me. Take a drink, Gray. Oh, don't forget to breathe. Breathe? What's that? So this is the first solo live stream I've done since I've been sick, and yeah, it feels weird. It feels good. I feel like I'm all over the place. Daniel's here as well. Daniel in the chat. Nice to see you. I love Planes, Trains and Automobiles. God, man, it's so good. It's so touching. When I was, I'm old enough to have seen that in the theatre. I actually went to see it in the UK when it first came out. Can't remember the year off the top of my head. I think it's 87. That's just off the top of my head. So I was like 13 or 14, somewhere around there. Man, Steve Martin, he had me like crying with laughter. The grumpy old curmudgeonly, like pissed off, always angry at the world, but gets turned around. He gets his heart is warmed by the awesomeness of John Candy's character, Dell. Oh man. Yeah, great. Two amazing performances. Only criticism I've got on the rewatch, this is from rewatching it, like, he was only away for was it like a day or so, maybe he was a day or 2 days late, and his wife was like treating it like she hadn't seen him in years. Now again, maybe I'm just being a bit jealous, but yeah, that was a bit strange to see that part. Where are we? Shieldwall the Dragons, the part where he says he hasn't been home in years, and when you find out why, man, that's the emotional one, isn't it? That's the one that hits you. That hits you really hard. Damn right. It hits harder the older you get. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Absolutely. It's weird. It's, as I say, I don't know what it is. Maybe part of it's the illness, but I've been watching a few Christmassy things and I'm trying to get in the mood, put myself in the mood for it, and like fighting back the tears, man. Holding the tears back. It's ridiculous. So what's going on? Grown man crying at bloody National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Crazy. And you know what makes it even crazier? This is going to sound really weird and maybe controversial in the chat. I'm hoping to do the next Friday night's movie live stream on this, but I got a bit of a reaction from a few people. The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special just come out, yeah, Marvel. Now I watched it, Sailing the Seven Seas, and it had me in tears. Had me in fucking tears at the end. I couldn't believe it. It's like, what is going on? Not just that, it had me like feeling emotions, like Jesus Christ. And it's a stupid comedy, daft, James Gunn, Marvel special, but it's the best thing that Disney Marvel have done, in my opinion. I recommend it. If you get a chance, watch it. Now, maybe this is the grey who's missing Christmas, seeing it through rose-tinted spectacles and all that, but it was funny, it was moving, it was sad, and it was surprising, so give it a shot. Give it a shot if you can. I love John Hughes' writing. Right, Shelby, right, yeah, so going back to Planes, Trains, that sent me off on a bit of a John Hughes movie. What's the word? Not some of the more famous ones, but what I didn't know is the ones he'd written, the earlier ones. I was watching movies like Stripes. Remember Stripes? With John Candy, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray. That went down really well. What was next? What was after that? Another John Candy. Jesus, I can't even remember. Say my brain's gone brain fog, and I've also got stream brain on top of that. A double dose of brain fever from COVID and streaming on my own and missing Christmas. Teresa was here, was she? Teresa, how you doing? Miss Martin Muse, it's nice to see you. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm all over the place, but I've just been wanting to, to have a bit of a, what's the word? A bit of a live stream waffle. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. If anyone wants to come join, you're very, very welcome, but there's no pressure. No pressure to do that. But it'd be great to just have a bit of a chat and, talk about what is it that makes Christmas, that special moment that gives you that Christmas feeling. And you guys are so lucky if you're in the States or Canada, the UK, Europe. It just isn't the same over here, I'm trying to recreate that feeling, and part of it is being a bit ill, being a bit emotional and all that. But if you've got any recommendations in the chat, anything, any movie, even the obvious ones, I'm going on a proper let's bring back Christmas kick for Grey in Japan. So I've got quite a few things lined up. I'll tell you one that I can recommend from a Japanese perspective, and I've talked about this before, is Tokyo Godfathers. It's fantastic. It's Satoshi Kon, who's more famous for Perfect Blue and Paprika. But if you get a chance to watch Tokyo Godfathers, it's a beautiful, moving Christmas set story, set in Tokyo at winter. So give that a shot. Who else is here? Is Nosferatu here? No way. He snuck up quietly like the stealthy vampire he is. He's like a ninja vampire. You don't know he's coming. You don't hear him. You don't see him. But man, you can smell his alcoholic breath. No, I'm joking. I'm just jealous, Nos, because I can't drink at the moment. Maybe I should, right? Maybe that will sort me out. Oh, Jesus. Where are we? Private chat. Oh, brilliant. Shieldwall's here. It's here. There you go. Listen to me waffling on. Right. I've got headphones somewhere. I keep dropping them. I keep forgetting that they're on my lap, and I stand up and drop them, Forget they're there. Here we go. Let's bring somebody in. Hello? Can you hear me? Is there anybody there?
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. How are you
Hey,
doing?
how are you doing, Gray? It's thanks for throwing that in there. It's always good to join in. Um, yeah, I know what it's like to be in a foreign country and away from home. And I mean, you've lived there, but you know what I mean, where
Yeah.
the culture doesn't quite match up. So even though Japan is a great country, they just don't do Christmas like they do in England.
Right, you get that, right? You've been here, so you've seen it
I've been in
firsthand.
England too.
Okay.
Yeah.
No way.
So, yeah, I lived there 3 years. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I had a Christmas party in a great hall at Cambridge. I got invited to it,
Oh my God.
and it was the most Christmas thing I ever experienced. The Christmas tree was huge in there, and it's like 15th century, with the
Yeah,
wood and
yeah.
everything.
I've
So
never
yeah,
been, mate. I've only seen it on TV, in
yeah,
like photos, but that sounds amazing.
it was. It was like being in a fairy tale person. So,
Did,
but I
did you
hope
feel
you
a bit
feel
Harry
better.
Harry Potter as well?
Well, this was quite a few years before Harry Potter. So
Right, sure.
yeah, yeah, it was very Harry Potter. Um, there were no floating candles or anything.
No. Oh, mate, we've got a few people in the chat as well who they know what we speak of. We've got Shelby who's saying, yeah, they got pretty depressed in Nagoya one year. Watched a lot of MST 3K to laugh. Oh my God, my brain's not working. I can't work out what that's a abbreviation of. MST 3K. What do you reckon, Shieldwall? Does that ring any bells?
Uh, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, look at that. Well done. I've never watched that, man. I don't know if it's good or not.
It's the new one sucks. The old one is where it's at.
Okay,
Yeah, that's my opinion.
gotcha. Where would be without opinions? By the way, have you seen Tokyo Godfathers? So say that's a big recommend for a Japanese set kind of Christmas movie. It's a good animation. It's also got a really good like proper trans character done well, not just done for diversity.
Right, right. Yeah, if it's a native part of the story and it fits, then it
Yeah,
works.
it
Yeah,
works.
totally.
Actually works. Got a shout out for Love Actually in the chat. That's a popular one. That's from zaxx. Zaxx, you old softy, you. Really. I don't know about Love Actually. It's good, but it's a bit, I don't know, a bit too saccharine sweet. Or is it just me? Maybe I'm a bit too jaded.
I missed out on that movie. Like when it was big, I was too busy working,
Okay.
and yeah, yeah. I spent a lot of time in places where you just didn't get movies, so it was. But yeah, it's all right, I guess. Um, I like Keira Knightley. I liked her better in Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah, she was good in that, wasn't she? Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. So how have you found like in being in places where, as you say, you're away from home, you're away from family, and it's that time of the year, especially Christmas time. How
Well,
do you deal with that?
the thing is that I was never alone. Um, it
Okay.
it wasn't like it was just me in a different culture. I was always surrounded by other people, Americans, or there were times when I was in certain locations, the Brits were there, but
Oh,
yeah, and you'd be surprised at the commonality that America and Britain share, and
yeah.
Germans and people from basically just Western Europe all together um, for Christmas and things like that. So a lot
Hmm.
of crossover, especially as an American, since so many people from Europe brought their traditions. So some of the things that we do are a
Hmm.
little different, and it also depends on your family. But like Thanksgiving, uh, you would go to 4 or 5 Thanksgiving dinners
Oh,
because no one
wow.
wants to be alone. Yeah, they take a lot of measures to make sure that nobody is feeling kind of like how you are now.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of emphasis put on Christmas parties and getting together and making sure that nobody feels left out or alone. Um,
Hmm.
so but I can understand the feelings that you're having, because if you're living in the tent in the middle of the desert on Christmas, it can, you know, not feel like home.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot. It probably sounds crazy because I've not grown up here. I've seen my daughter grow up here, so it's 20 years and like, but now she's away and the wife is kind of, she's busy with work. Sometimes I'm just like, man, I feel really, really
Well,
like
and
lonely.
and you're sick too, and you're sick,
Yeah,
and
I think it's that.
you're on, some medications and stuff, and you don't have, how we dealt with it, especially when I was younger, is everybody just went out drinking.
Right?
So, yeah, but if you don't have anybody to go drinking with, then it. But I think, like I said in the chat, you've got time to feel better.
Yeah.
I think you'll come around once you start feeling better physically, and then, and you always got us here. If you ever want to, feel excited, just get on live stream with zaxx, and his shoulders will bring you right back to reality.
His shoulders, mate, they can move mountains.
Yes. Yep. or Magitech Mags will talk about cream-filled donuts or something, and it'll be all.
Oh yeah, that cheers up. We've got Krampus Jeebus, long time no see, Monkey Jeebus. Krampus Jeebus in the chat. Just got done with Doomcock's member stream. Yeah, I saw he was doing that, and good for him. He's been talking about doing different ones for different time zones. Because Shieldwall, that's a bit of a problem with me as well. The time zone. I'm off work, of course, at the moment, but I'm back on Friday, so that's why I'm able to do this live stream now. Otherwise, I'm limited to the weekends, and I do miss being able to jump on friends' live streams quite frequently.
I've seen you like trying to stream and stuff, and it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, man, I really want to support Gray, but I just can't do it. And
no
then
worries.
There's so much content and so many people putting stuff out. I'm trying to watch like 4 videos all at the same time at like double speed, and just trying to keep up.
It sounds like zaxx or Pops. Pops is strategy, yeah. I always forget about that, doing the double speed thing. I feel like I'm cheating, but yeah, it's a good call because there is so much to catch up with, isn't there, to keep up with.
Right. I'm trying to support everybody
me
as
too.
best I can, because there's a lot of good content, but and it seems like everyone's like starting a channel these days, which is great.
Right.
Mags is gonna pass out.
Good night, Mags. Thanks for dropping in. I really appreciate it. You have a good night. Yeah, I say I'm feeling better already from just seeing people in the chat and seeing the messages. That's so nice. Like the support, Shieldwall. This is one of the best things about YouTube. The social side of it, the making so many friends, people you call friends that you've never met in real life.
Right.
That's kind of bizarre.
And the fact that I'm talking to you from New Mexico in America.
No,
right?
No way.
Yeah, like right on the border of Texas, in like the little crap hole town. So I maybe shouldn't say that. It's a small town that's kind of crappy. So,
is it like middle of the night for you, or is it just getting there? It's getting late.
It's 10 p.m. 22.
Okay, good. It's not too late. Yeah, that's right. I used to do my live streams at silly times, not thinking about. First of all, I didn't think people would be watching. I was just doing it at times that fit with me, so we talk in either really early morning stateside or, like you say, middle of the night. So, yeah. But weekends are good. Weekends are cool. Weekends when I can catch up with people.
Yeah. It looks like Jacob Ironside has to go to sleep. Yeah, it's getting about that time, I think.
Jacob, you have a good night. You take care. And don't have any fever dreams, mate.
Nosferatu talking about working at a host bar. Yeah.
Where is he? Oh man, he's the king of comments. Nosferatu, I love you, man. You're crazy. Gray's so beautiful. You can see him working at a host bar.
Yeah.
Maybe I could make some extra money, Shieldwall. What's that like? What you reckon?
You get that table charge, which if you don't know about that, can be a bad thing.
Right. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that took me a while to get my head around that whole culture.
Yeah, we had to learn. The way it worked for us is they gave us a briefing when we first got in country, and they were like, okay, watch out for this. This is the culture. Don't do this. Do this. If this happens, this is why, and whatever. So I was able to avoid that. Um, but
Hmm.
so let me ask you this, Gray. When you
Yeah.
first got to Japan, you were single, right? Like you were.
No, that's a mistake I made. I
Oh,
got
you
married.
weren't?
I got married first, mate. So I missed
Oh,
out on that whole gaijin magic playboy kind of lifestyle over
right.
here.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, I was just gonna ask because, um, yeah, it 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 was a whole different world for me when I got there. Of course, this was back in 1989, so it was a while ago.
Wow, that's amazing. 89. So what happened with me is I went to Australia in 98, 99. That one year, did a working
Mhm.
holiday with a best mate, and I met Mrs. Wakizashi there just by chance. So we had a kind of long distance relationship for a year or so, and then she came over to Manchester where we got married, and then a year and a half in Manchester when we came to Japan. So
Okay.
that was it.
Okay.
So yeah, I came over just before I was 30 and already married with a baby.
Right, right. Okay, okay. That's good. But Australia, come on. You that had to have been a good time.
Man, that was amazing. What a year. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can imagine it, can't you? It was 98, 99. It was
Yep.
the Soccer World Cup at the time. I think it was
Mm.
in France, if I get that right. So in Australia, it was like crazy time, middle of the night, 2 a.m., the matches were on. So everywhere was open. All the bars were open all night long. It was unbelievable. Unforgettable. Have you been to Australia at all yourself?
No, no, I have not. I've been to the Philippines though. Back
Oh,
before, back then, that was kind of crazy. I'll just say that much.
God, Philippines. It's very close to where I am now, but I still haven't been. I've got to get over there. I've heard very, very good things about it, and I know a lot of Filipinos here.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah.
I went to I went to high school in Okinawa, and there were a lot
Oh,
of people that were, you know, had a lot of Filipino heritage going to my school. So,
wow.
uh, yeah, it
What
was
was
good.
that like going to high school in Okinawa?
Well, it was, there were a lot of Americans there, so it was kind of sort of like going to high school, except I got a much better education than what you would get in America.
Do you reckon? I
Yeah,
can never work it out. I
yeah,
think it's good, but what I don't think is good is how they tried not to teach anyone to have an opinion. Do you know what I mean? That's a very Japanese thing. It's the group mentality, the
mm,
fit in with the group. Don't be the odd one out who stands out.
right, right. And but there were a lot of people there that were, from all over the world, which is also
Sure.
why I didn't really experience any racism, like
Okay.
eh, because you really couldn't say anything bad about anybody because there was all kinds of people there, and so you had daily contact with them all the time.
Yeah. We've got Zaxx asking, maybe you can field this question. What's a table charge?
Okay, so a table charge is if you go into a certain establishment and you sit at the table. Once you sit down, it's automatic. They automatically charge you. Usually, what they'll do is they'll bring out like a little complimentary bowl of like peanuts or something, or sometimes
Yeah.
it'll be the like rice cracker things and a hot towel. Sometimes they'll give you tea. Depending on the place, you might even get a complimentary drink.
Yeah.
And but that table charge is like $100 or more. I don't even know what it is now. It's probably crazy. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, and then the host will come out, and if you go to the right place, it's really hot women, and then they will try to get you to buy them drinks too.
Yeah.
Um, Now, this is different. Oh, I could go down this huge rabbit hole. This is different from a Korean juicy bar. So
Ooh.
that is where they try to get you to buy them a drink, and the drink is way overpriced. It's like 20
Oh,
bucks
okay.
for like ocha tea or
Yeah.
oolong tea with like a maybe an eyedropper alcohol or nothing in it. And
Yeah.
then your
Yeah.
drinks are going to be rot gut, super strong, so they get you drunk, so you buy more. Um,
That's it. I'm in a very small town, so we don't really have the really high class or expensive establishments. But what I found here is instead of there being like a table charge, they'll charge you by the hour, and you'll get this pretty cheap, but you'll get like all you can drink basically, within that time, but you're also paying for, you know, the hostess's drinks too. And yeah, so I guess that is table charge in a way, but it's not like on top of that fee, you know. So
Right, right.
if you go in with a group of people, it's fine. You can all chip in, say, 3, 4, 5,000, not dollars, 5,000 yen
Right,
each,
yeah.
you know, depending on it. Some places will charge you like 3,000 for an hour, up to 5,000 an hour. Then you go up to 10,000 for an hour. So yeah, but that's
But
what the
I will admit that, and this is not like a prostitution thing or anything like that.
no, it's
But
not.
you can have a really good time in there because they'll listen to you, they'll talk, they'll ask you questions.
Yeah,
You know, your cup is never empty. Of course, that's a cultural thing in Japan anyway. Um, you know, you're a bad host if you're not constantly filling your guests' drinks,
that's right.
which can be bad because you're like trying to kill that last beer and it never empties.
It never ends, and
It never ends. Yeah.
you've no idea how many you've had. That's one of the
Right.
problems,
Yeah.
isn't it? They just keep topping up your drink. So if it's beer or if it's the mizuwari, which is the whiskey or bourbon and water mix, God, man, I've come out of places like that where, you know, I've lost my mind, kind of thing.
Have you had a chuhai, which is basically
Yeah,
some type of tea or juice or something which has soju in it or some other
yeah,
type of alcohol? The first time I ever had one, I couldn't taste the alcohol, so I didn't know.
right, yeah,
The girl that was ordering the drinks for me that I was going out with, I didn't know that it had alcohol in it. So I had like 4 of these things, and I go to stand
yeah.
up. I'm like, whoa, what the?
Holy shit, you're okay
Yeah,
till you go and stand up, yeah,
yeah, yes,
yeah.
you were okay till you go to stand up. And we went to like a little izakaya, and they were, you know, we were getting all kinds of weird food, and well, it was weird to me, but because some of them kind of make up their own stuff, and like au gratin potatoes with tomato sauce on top or something. Anyway,
No, but it is the chuhai. What they use here is Korean shochu, which is basically, it's either, is it from potato? Is it made from potato or made from something else? And it's got a really weird smell. But yeah, man, it's like, as you say, it's mixed with soft drinks or something, and you can't taste it half the time. So you're knocking back these kind of taste like alcohol-free cocktails, but they're not. And then you go to stand up, you kind of stagger into the toilet. Oh my god, I've lost my legs.
yes, and then so I don't know how it was for you. So you're a teacher, right? If I got that correct.
Yeah, still working as a teacher.
Right. So you just can't go downtown and just go crazy.
I've got to be
And
careful.
yeah, you
Being
got to be
seen.
careful. Yeah, exactly. Whereas when I was there and I was, you know, I was 20. And so yeah, I was 20. So it was just totally out of control. But again, this was the late 80s too. So the stuff that we did nowadays, people would lose their damn mind.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that bad. I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy, you know.
Got Flaccid Phoenix saying only milk at his table.
Yeah.
Mother's milk, Flaccid, by any chance? No. And Shelby. So Shelby was over for a while as well. Okay, a year in Japan, then visited family. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it must have been mad though. So the end of the 80s, you caught the end of the bubble. Is that right? The bubble
Right.
economy.
Everything people were. I dated this girl. She worked at Honda, and
Ooh.
she was making like $8,000 a month just doing data entry. And people would just be like, "I don't like this job. I'm going to quit it and go get this other one." And but so you got to remember that I didn't really interact with a lot of Japanese men. It was all women.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
obvious reasons. And so the little Japanese I did learn, I sound like a chick when I talk. So
I've got the
in
same
Jap-
problem, Shieldwall.
yeah,
Like my wife and my daughter growing up, and then the teachers I work with are often female. So I've got like kind of Jose Japanese. Like, oh
so,
shit.
yeah. If I do speak any with any kind of try to do with like a male tone or anything, I sound like a Yakuza boss. So I just tend not to do it.
I can't do it. I tell you, my Japanese sucks, and that's part of the perils of being an English teacher, you know, and like also having a a wife who can speak very good English, and speaking English for my daughter growing up, to try and get her to get English, because Japanese is her first language, pretty much. So yeah, and also being lazy. I did sit down and start learning it when I first got here. I got like hiragana, katakana. I got maybe sannensei for kanji, and I just gave up on kanji because it was insane. I don't know how they learn it. I mean, it takes them 12 years, doesn't it, to learn the
Right.
basics?
Right. Yeah. And then there's a
12
certain way
years.
that you have to write. Like
Right.
you do two lines parallel, and then you do two that are vertical, and then you do it a certain. Then you put the little thing on the end, and if you do it out of order, you're wrong.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Ah, Jesus, just laughing. Father's milk, flaccid.
Yeah.
You dirty old man. How could you say that? Yeah. How did Shieldwall live in Japan in the 80s when he sounds like he's 30 years old? Asks Daniel.
Uh, I don't know. Ask Nosferatu. He probably has.
Has he got the
Yeah.
secret? He's a
Yeah.
vampire though, so
He's
he's ageless.
exactly. Yeah. He's a
Yeah.
vampire, so he's ageless. Oh, technically I'm a dragon, so I live for thousands of years.
But being
No,
here, man, when as you say, 20 from your 20s, like early 20s, that must have been a trip. That must have been so much fun.
I got there when I was 19. So,
Whoa.
yeah. But I just wasn't like living there on my own, and I had a roommate, and
Okay.
it was very, and I wasn't making much money. I was making about $250 a month. But all my room and board was paid for, and I had like stipends and stuff. So,
Cool.
and I had a lot of work. I was working, 12 hours at a time and stuff. So, but where I was at had they had a bar row out, down the road there. And it was, yeah. And there'd be people there. And that's the first time. So I'm white, blonde hair, blue eyed. The first time I ever experienced real, like, I'm not going to say racism, but discrimination. Because there were places I could not go into. They wouldn't let you
Oh,
in.
really?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, because, Americans tend to get drunk and then tear stuff up. So,
Yeah, really? Is that true?
yeah.
Reputation precedes you.
There's another thing that tripped me out about being in Japan is, so in America, you have like all you can eat places and stuff, right? So you
Yeah.
go in and they have them in Japan too. You can go in and sometimes it'll just be, you pay a certain flat rate and you can just eat as much as you want.
Yeah.
Well, any place where there's a large group of Americans around, it's on a timer because they can't. Because you get a guy from like Minnesota, big corn fed dude, he will go in there and he will crush like $1,000 worth of food.
Mm,
And
wow.
the other crazy thing is they have places that were all you could drink. So you would go in and pay like 5,000 yen or how
Yeah.
much it was, and you could just drink as much as you wanted, like pony kegs of Suntory malt or something. And they'd let
It's
a big group
dangerous.
of Americans in there, and they would just annihilate the place, like drink them totally out of product. And like they would bring out those little like straight up good Italian pizzas that are small, like the size of a plate maybe, that
Yeah.
were made within a wood fire stove the Italian way. And what the Japanese would do is they'd come up and they'd take a slice and they'd, be very proper about it and stuff. The Americans would just take the whole entire pizza as soon as it came out and was put on the table, gone, because it was like a buffet thing. And they would and then as the more they drank, they just start standing around in the middle of the place talking all loud.
Yeah.
So it could get embarrassing sometimes. Yeah, Nosferatu.
I don't know what he's going on about here. Kanye's favorite person? Really? Are you? I thought that was
Oh,
Jesus.
yeah,
No, that's cool. It's good to hear your stories, man. I
yeah,
appreciate it. That's cool.
yeah.
Okinawa as well. Again, been here 20 years, never been to Okinawa. I want to go just
Really,
for
you
the
haven't
sea,
been? It's
No.
pretty nice. It's like the Hawaii of Japan, basically.
Yeah, I've heard it's
Um,
beautiful. My daughter's been on a school trip, but I haven't.
yeah, I've been to Tokyo Disneyland like 5 times. I went to Disney Sea when it first opened up, and there wasn't anybody there, so we got to
Oh,
ride like the Journey to the Center of the Earth ride like 8 times in a row. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I lived in England for 3 years too. Um, I'll just say this.
Whereabouts were you in England? Or you don't have to say
Um,
like if you don't want to.
nah, that's fine. I was near Peterborough, in between
Okay.
Peterborough wherever the hell Cromwell was born. Um,
God, don't ask me. I'm
uh,
terrible at history.
trying to think what the because
So
I
down
I moved around a couple of places. I will say this though, Ipswich girls are easy.
Ipswich.
Yeah,
Okay.
that place was kind of not that good. Um,
No.
but yeah, I got to go to London like eight or nine times. That was pretty interesting. The Tower of London. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I was there when Windsor Castle burned down. I think it was Windsor, right? That caught fire.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
fire. That's
Mhm.
right.
Yep. Yeah,
Wasn't you, was it?
that was
Shieldwall.
92. Yeah.
92.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I was still there until, I'd say, until a year in 98, 99 in Australia. And then back in the UK until, when was it? End of 2002, I got over here. So just before 2003.
Yeah, I was there. I got to go to Scotland. We took like a bus ride up there and went to Edinburgh Castle and
Edinburgh. Oh,
yeah,
nice. You had a good
had
time there, yeah?
yeah, I had haggis. But I had a lot of whiskey because they like toast the haggis. So I really don't remember what it tastes like because the people I was with didn't want the whiskey, so I drank it. I had probably like 6 shots in about 5 minutes. Um, but it was cool. They had like a little, Scottish dance thing with the swords and stuff, the little sword
Okay.
dance thing, and whatever. But yeah, it was interesting. Got to travel around, do a lot of stuff. Um, and but I liked it there. At first, I didn't because I had come from Japan to there,
Hmm.
and so you got public transportation. Everything is open late at 5 o'clock back in those days. England, everything rolled up. Just the
Right.
sidewalk rolled up.
Yeah.
Everything closed. Pubs closed at 11. You were just getting started by then. Um, but it was a good time. Do you remember when a pint was a pound, just a pound coin? So you could
Oh,
reach in your
yeah.
pocket, feel the pound, and feel how many drinks you had left, and be like,
Yeah.
I can feel 4 pound coins. Okay, I got 4 more pints in me.
God, I've not been back since before Corona started, so it's been a while. It depends where you go. I'm from the northern area, Manchester's north, so it's cheaper than London, cheaper than down south. But still, a pint was like, depending where you get, £3.50, £4.50, £5
Wow.
now, up
Well, I
to.
was paid in American dollars and then had to convert it
Okay,
over. And back then, it was like 250 pounds to the 2 pound 50 to the dollar. So everything was super expensive for me when I was there, and I
right.
wasn't getting paid that much. So, but it was a great time, and like it took me about a year and a half to really get in the swing of things to where I really liked it. By the time I left, I loved it. So it was great. And the British sense of humor, just how great everybody is. And then, no, you go
Not
to the wrong part.
sarcastic for you? Too sarcastic? Very sarcastic, isn't it, the humour sometimes?
No, I like it though. But if
Yeah? Okay.
if you go to the wrong part of town and talk crap, you're going to get your ass kicked. And I like that about England.
I did say Corona, Daniel. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know why I said that. They used to call it that, didn't they, when it first started?
Yeah, it has something to do with the like the way it attaches to cells, I think. Um, it has
Oh,
little
okay.
feet that stick out of it. Yeah,
Had like a weird kind of crown, a
yeah,
crown thing on it or something. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, Irish. Yeah, I never got to go to Ireland. I wish I could have. That would have been great. But
Shelby, last time they were in the UK, they hadn't switched to euros yet. Right, right. Well,
yes,
it still
yeah,
isn't. It's still pounds, isn't it? As far as I know, it's
you
still
can
pounds
still.
and pence.
I think they do take euros though.
Oh, did they take
Through
them?
there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, some places took dollars depending on where you went, but
Hmm.
it was. Yeah, I remember. I got to the airport and they had a Dunkin' Donuts there, and I was pretty surprised at that when I was at Heathrow.
I've never seen one in the UK. No
Uh,
way. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. The UK is. I mean, like Huntington. That was it. That's where Cromwell's from. We used to go down to the market down there, and they had like an actual like little cart because they would set up the market, and it was like a
Yeah.
little, what do they call those things over there? We call them trailers here in America, but they're called caravans, I think, in England.
Yeah, that's right. A
Yeah,
caravan.
but these
Yeah,
had
yeah.
like wing open kind of. Now everything's a food truck, but back then it was like a purpose built thing. And they had one guy, all he did was sell candy. He had like a candy sell thing. He made a living off of it. And then they had this one guy. He was very redheaded, and he had a popular butcher stall because he had two twin daughters that were redheads, and they kind of looked like Fergie back when she was hot. You know, and so
Was she ever hot though? Come on.
well, hot turd. How about that?
When she was really young, mate.
Yeah.
I don't mean that
really
young. I mean, when she was
when
she was legal.
They were in their late teens, early 20s, which when I was there was, appropriate. So, yeah, Lennon and every place is turned to shit, Daniel. It's all, every place is not as good as it used to be, for some reason. Yeah.
Daniel's saying
Fergie.
what? It felt more like New York than the UK. Really? I don't know. There's dodgy parts anywhere, isn't there, Shieldwall? But I do like London. I like the cosmopolitanness of it. It's really mixed there, multicultural. Manchester's got a lot better. It used to be a right shithole when I was growing up. It was like a dump, an abandoned town almost.
That's kind of what it looked like when we kind of went through that area.
Yeah.
Everything looked like,
Go on, go for it.
It was like it was out of a YouTube video or something.
Right.
Yeah.
The IRA bombed it. I don't know if you remember that. And it took that to them finally, putting some money into the city and basically almost rebuilding it at the center.
Yes.
I was there when that happened. That was crazy. Never forget that.
Yeah. That whole thing, and it was, I don't know, but I liked it there quite a bit.
Good. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah. I didn't get the whole beans and toast thing though. That kind of.
Neither do I. Cheese on toast, okay. Beans on toast.
Yeah, we were going, and I was hanging out with this guy, and he was dating this girl, and she was like, "I'm gonna have me beans and toast," and we were making fun of her bad about it, because we're dirty, uncouth Americans. I will say this though, that's where I got my taste for English breakfast. Full English breakfast, by the way. You gotta have the pudding.
You've got to have the black pudding, even though it's insanely bitter. God. But yeah, especially if you've got a hangover, it can sort you out.
I went to Stratford upon Avon because, as an American tourist kind of thing, that's what you do. And we went into this shop, and this shop had to have been built 1700s at the newest,
Ooh.
And so I'm sitting in there, and I'm like, what do I get? And I saw this sandwich, and I was like, I'll have that. She's like, all right. It was a pickle sandwich, but the pickle was like this black, thick, I don't even know what it was. It was good, but I never had a pickle sandwich before.
It was good. Yeah, really. I've had cheese and pickle. Cheese and pickle sandwich is quite popular. That's all right. Did you have Shieldwall? Did you have Branston pickle? Do you remember that? It's like a condiment. It's basically it's a pot full of, I don't know what's in there, onion, chopped up bits and pieces, but it's got a really weird pickly taste.
Sounds like relish.
Sweet and sour. Relish. That's it.
Well, at the dining facility that I used to go to, they would have rabbit sometimes, which is not something in America that you get, but they're over there. They were like, but around where we lived, I was like, what is wrong with these rabbits? They look all jacked up. And they were like, well, back in the 70s, there was a rabbit overpopulation, so they gave them all rabbit syphilis to try to kill them off. But it didn't kill them; it just messes them up. And like they had like these crusty things over their eyes and stuff.
No way!
Yeah,
are you serious?
The fur patches missing. And so I was like, I'm not eating that rabbit because where it came from.
I never heard of that. That's crazy. I do remember rabbit stew or rabbit pie. Can be popular in the country pubs. Yeah. No way, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, pub food. And I lived there for 3 years, and it's kind of making me homesick. So I can only imagine for you. I'm not gonna have my mushy peas in the
fish chips and mushy peas, or chips and gravy.
Yep.
Chips and gravy. Chips and curry sauce.
That's the first time I had the vinegar on fish and chips. And
Oh, right.
yeah, because in America you don't really put vinegar on stuff like
No
that.
way.
Yeah,
I didn't
I
know
mean
that.
you had vinegar, but it went on like I'm trying to remember. You used it just to make stuff, like you would put it in your coleslaw or something.
Yeah.
Um, but they had a lot of. There was some good food over there. There was some.
Daniel missed out on fish and chips. He's saying, my one dream was to get fish and chips. I never got to try any. Daniel. Come on,
It,
man.
it was some of the food was kind of crap though. I will admit.
Oh, no. Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's some of it's terrible. Mm.
But the thing is, if you go to London, like I went to London Chinatown, amazing.
Oh,
Indian
God, yeah.
food, amazing.
Indians
Italian
amazing.
food, amazing. Oh, nothing better than a kebab when you're trashed at like 2 a.m. in
Shish
Cambridge
kebab
Square.
or
Yeah,
a Donna kebab,
Doner
man.
kebab. Yeah, because I spent quite a bit of time in Turkey too, um, on and off. I do like 45 days down there and back, and same with Italy, down in the
Mm.
boot and up by the Alps part. Um, so lots of good
Oh,
five cheese tortellini. Wine was cheaper than soda, and
wow.
yeah, wine was cheaper than like a Coke or something. Um, and so it was great.
I was
Yeah.
lucky, Shieldwall, back in my young days when I was still a
Mhm.
kid. My parents, like, who weren't a wealthy family, were just normal, but they used to go overseas for holidays rather than the UK because it was basically cheaper once you got out there. Yeah, so we go to Spain or France, and I never forget my dad like saying how cheap the wine was over there compared to the UK. Unbelievably cheap, any alcoholic drinks were, and the measures you got compared to the UK. I'm sure you
Mhm.
remember UK
Mhm.
measures are crap. They're like this. Spanish measure was like half the glass was, whatever the mixer was, and then the rest of it they give you Coke or whatever you're mixing it with, and leave you the bottle to fill it up. It's like, my God, that is a cocktail. It's changed now, I'm sure, but when I was young, it was
Mhm.
really cheap.
Mhm.
So we used to go every summer, like Spain or Greece, Greek islands or France. So lucky.
I never got to go to like Greece or Ibiza or anything like that, but I did get to go down near Gibraltar,
Ooh,
and I spent 2 weeks there, and that's the first place I had sangria. I
oh,
can't.
sangria, real
Yeah,
sangria.
it was great, and in the earthen like pitcher, and
Has to be, yeah.
yeah, that was a good time too. The waitress there, man, she was hot. She was a little older than me, but that she was good to go. Um,
Whoa,
and
those.
they were friendly, and we like saw like a bullfight, and did all the we didn't like do the ring with the bulls or anything, but it was a good time. Yeah,
Cool.
Italy was good. I got my taste for espresso there. I got to go to Venice for $11. That was good.
Oh no, no way. That does
Yeah,
sound cool.
from where we were working, we just had to take the bus, and of course, I was with a bunch of other Americans. So what do they want to do? Buy the little gondola driver guy hats and drink Heinekens, um, and get trashed. But I walked around and went and saw like all the really cool places. Trying to think of the name of that cathedral there. Is it St. Michael's? The one where the Doge went and was supposed to go on a crusade. The Crusaders stopped, and he bilked them out all their money, so he took over. And they just basically went to Constantinople and trashed that place and stole all their shit and brought it back.
Instead, yeah.
Yeah,
God,
instead. So they
I
had
can't
this
remember.
little room. So it was a little building inside of the chapel, and you could
Mm.
pay money to go inside, and it was entirely gold. Everything was gold leaf, gold plated, all that stuff. Um,
Shout
yeah,
out to Brandon. Brandon, the anime guy. Good to
yeah,
see you, man.
man. Sorry, I'm talking a
Hey.
lot. It's exciting to talk about this
No,
kind
it's
of stuff.
good. It's good to catch up. And
Yeah.
as you can tell, my voice is still not 100%. The longer I've been going, the less I've been, well, the more I've been losing it. I've got to address this comment from Nosferatu. British food stinks. Come on, man. You've never been to the UK. Yes, a lot of the food is not good, but depending where you go, you can get some really good English food. Shieldwall will back me up on this.
I that's true,
Maybe.
and I like eating the food well for the most part of the places that you go. I do not like lamb. I don't like goat. I had a bad experience with that in Turkey.
Ooh.
Um, talking about like where you got liquid coming out of everywhere. Where you need to go to the doctor and they got to give you like an IV bag.
I've never had goat. I've enjoyed lamb. Do you like good lamb, but goat?
I
No.
don't like lamb. I don't like goat.
Okay.
No sweetbreads. Um,
No. No way.
yeah,
Draw the line there.
no
Me too.
no head cheese or any of that kind of stuff.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, but
But
I
it's
don't like
true. A lot of the food that is good is other countries' food in Britain, in the UK. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Manchester's got a really good Chinatown, some great Chinese restaurants, good Thai as well. As you were saying before, the Indian is unbelievable. There's a place called the Curry Mile just outside of Manchester, and it's a mile of non-stop fantastic Indian restaurants, proper ones. So good.
yeah, and America is it's getting so many people are coming over here now that when I was a kid, if you lived like in Delaware or something, you couldn't find a Mexican restaurant, or if you did, it sucked. But now
Really?
they're everywhere. Indian food is everywhere. Chinese food. You go to the smallest town in especially around my area here in Texas, New Mexico, it will have
Yeah.
two things: a Sonic drive-through, a Dairy Queen. It'll have three things: a Dairy Queen and a Chinese restaurant.
What's a Sonic drive-through? I got images of Sonic the Hedgehog then, the game.
No,
What?
it's just you pull your car up and it has a thing, and then some places they still do roller skates, and other places they just bring it out. I don't like
Yeah.
it though because I don't like eating in my car. I'd rather go in and sit down somewhere because
Okay.
and Nosferatu, Delaware has the best ice cream ass bite.
That's right. It's crazy. Shelby's talking about roast chicken with potatoes, spicy mince pies at Christmas. I do miss the Christmas lunch or dinner. Shieldwall, don't you ever got to have the traditional like roast turkey, stuffing, roast potatoes, parsnips, all that, Brussels sprouts? Oh my God. I miss that sometimes. Yeah.
Yes, they and then the Scottish meat pies. I
Oh
didn't.
God.
I had those for the first time, and I must have ate like 20 of them. They were so good
They
because
are
the
so
crust
good.
is so buttery and flaky, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I had some good. I had some good Cornish hens while I was there. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Do you try Cornish pasty? You ever had one of those? Cornish pasty?
I
If that
might
rings any
have.
bells.
I,
It's
I
similar
ate.
to the meat pie thing. Similar to that.
I will admit this. I was drunk a lot of the time I was there, and
That's why everything tasted good.
so it was. But it was good times. It was good times. Um, and yeah, it was great being there. Now, you know, English is English, but once you get to a certain part up, is the farther north you go, it starts to kind of sort of become its own language,
Oh yeah,
like where I can't understand
absolutely.
what they're saying. Um, and oh, the other thing is everybody wanted to go to Edinburgh for New Year's. All the guys I was hanging out with.
Edinburgh,
Yeah,
fantastic New
yeah,
Year.
yeah.
They have the big festival there, don't they? Is that
Mhm.
in December? I'm trying to think. Edinburgh Festival's famous
I
too.
wanted to go to York so bad for the Viking Festival, but I just couldn't schedule it to happen. Um, and then I know up on what the Faroe Islands or Shetlands or something, they have a big Viking festival up there. Uh, you know,
I'm
but
impressed, Shieldwall. You're managing to talk and type at the same time, and I don't hear anything. That's cool. Shout out to Nay Nay Nay. It's good to see you. Good morning from Europe. Got a European viewer as well. That's awesome. Very
yeah,
early.
I'm still. This is what like maybe my fourth stream I've ever been on. I'm really bad at like looking at trying to look at the chat and talk at the same time. Mainly because if I
Me
watch your
too.
stream, you're a little behind, so I need to make sure that I'm keeping up with everything. But I'm trying to like flip back and forth. Uh,
I'm always behind. Yeah, I can never keep up, which is amazing, which is tantamount to the people watching, people commenting.
mhm.
So cool.
Right.
And
Yeah, because the chat is the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, really.
absolutely.
Especially Nosferatu with the very specific, sometimes very specific references. I'm like, where are they coming up with this?
I'm too afraid to even like address this comment. Delaware has the best ice cream. Just ask Biden. Says
Yeah,
says
yeah,
Nosferatu.
yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Well, Oddly enough, I lived in Delaware for 8 years when I was a kid. So,
Oh, there
yeah,
we go.
yeah, I have traveled around quite a bit. I used to think if you just sit and think about it, I was like, my life's been boring. But then if I actually sit here and talk about it, I was like, I guess it hasn't
No
been very boring.
way. It sounds anything but. You're
Yeah.
talking about different accents. Shieldwall, listen to this one. I'm going to drop a very brief clip from one of my favourite British movies, With Nail and I. Don't know if you've seen it. See if you can get this. This old drunken guy in a pub.
But I was going for a minute. No man's put me down yet. You had any training in the martial arts?
Yeah, I could understand him. He had because it's more the Scottish thing.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Especially when they're drunk. I'm just like, okay.
He's got like a proper, you'd say, a received
Right,
an
yes.
RP or Queen's English, King's English
Exactly,
voice,
yeah,
hasn't he? Very
yeah.
posh.
But yeah, when you start getting into they start sounding like 40K orcs and stuff, then I guess that's Cockney. I'm not really sure what the
I
accent
can't
for
do.
that
Yeah,
is.
Cockney's difficult for me too. Scottish is okay if you talk like that, but it's hard. England crams in more dialects on an island than the entire USA, says Daniel.
Yeah,
do you
like
reckon?
literally, you just walk a street over and they've got a little bit of a difference. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Have you ever been to America, Gray?
No, it's somewhere I dreamed of going as a kid. Always dreamed of one day getting to Disneyland or Disney World, and then never made it. But one day,
You've been to the Tokyo one, right? Tokyo Disneyland?
Jesus, I can't remember. Hang on a sec. No, I haven't. My daughter has. I've been to Hong Kong Disneyland. That was,
Oh, really?
God, that was a trip, man. Jesus Christ. The Chinese don't believe in queuing up, lining up. Let's just say that. It's every man for themselves. It's just like,
Yeah, I wanted to go to Hong Kong, but this would have been back before when it was still British controlled. Is when I would have had the chance to go. Yeah, like all the Jackie Chan movies and stuff.
Daniel's saying when he's on a stream, he can't look at the chat at all. Yeah, it can be tricky to do both, especially if you've got a few people, dropping comments, which is amazing. It's hard to keep up. I'm always
Yeah.
like miles behind.
Well, it helps to have two people and one person can kind of talk about it and stuff. And I don't even know like the streaming etiquette really. I'm just kind of winging it here, so I don't know like if I read something in the chat. Oh, look who it is!
Speaking of winging it, no, I'm
Yeah.
joking. It's Zaxx.
Oh my
Yes!
god. I heard you guys talking about Gray's Little Behind and I had to get on here.
Yeah,
As
wrong
quick as I
stream.
could.
The flashes aren't here.
Oh,
How are you, man?
good. You guys are having a great conversation. I don't want to butt in. I'll hang out and let you guys keep going. That's awesome. Like, Shieldwall, I don't know if you're involved in human trafficking at all, but even if you are, like, I still think you're a great dude and you've seen the world in a way that most people never have and never will. So that's awesome. Cool
I
stories.
will say this: I may have possibly supported extrajudicious. What do they call that?
Ooh,
What do they call it? Extrajudicious rendition. Or whatever.
non-judicious.
Yeah, rendition. Yeah.
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 Nice. Well,
Tangentially, I fixed the airplanes it may have happened on.
okay. Well, if you can ever do that, then go and grab Flaccid Phoenix because he's up to something and look in his basement and check his hard drive for sure.
Nobody check his hard drive.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It doesn't exist. It's right there with, but yeah. But yeah,
Zaxx, this has been very rare, by the way, to actually get the one and only Shieldwall the Dragons coming on. I couldn't believe it when he came on. That's so cool and really cheered me up and also made me feel homesick.
yeah. Well, now Zaxx is on the stream. Like I said the first time, my life is complete.
Oh, dude, you're awesome, Shieldwall. You should do this all the time. You should jump on our streams.
Yeah, damn right.
I mean, well, Roman invited me on one of his streams just like out of the blue, and so I was like, all right, cool. And then he just kept inviting me back. So I'm supposed to be on one with him on Thursday. Epstein activity.
Nosferatu, behave in the chat. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh God. I'm flagging, guys. You're gonna have to take over for me. I'm losing my religion? No, not religion. I'm losing my breath. It's ridiculous.
Because well, you're not feeling good, man. I mean, don't want to put yourself in school or anything.
No, all is good. All is good. It's another day off. I say I got one more tomorrow, Thursday, and then back to reality, back to work on Friday. Not looking forward to it, but we'll see how it goes. But only Friday, and then the weekend. Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. You don't have to like come in on the weekend and make up for the other stuff or anything.
They give you exactly 7 days from when you're called positive. When you test positive, you get 7 full days off. So that's good. Plus the weekend. I was lucky it was a Thursday. So yeah.
So this would be different than having like a flu or something, right?
It's weird. It's very similar to the flu, but as I say, there's no sore throat, no coughing my guts up, no sneezing even, or runny nose. I always get the kind of streaming cold, usually. And this is the first thing I've had since it all started. I was really disappointed. I thought, I've not caught a cold in ages. It's been brilliant. I always catch colds because working at schools, it's just normal. Can't be helped.
Shieldwall, have you been to Canada?
So I did, but I don't remember. I was like 5 months old or something. And my parents drove up to the border to look at some cows or something, apparently. So
okay. You're not missing much. It's minus 38 here right now tonight.
Now,
Jesus.
I will say this though. I have worked with some Canadians, and I didn't even know they were Canadian, honestly.
Wow.
Until I think I dropped a wrench or something, and the guy kicked it, and he was like, "Oh, sorry." And I was like, "Okay."
That sounds like us. It's my gimmick. Weirdos.
Yeah, but
hey, weirdos, Lady B.
Oh, look who's in the chat. Yeah, I better be on my best behavior. She'll roast me.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
that's what we do. Where's the best place? If you could go to back to one place you've been, where would that be? Where would you want to go?
Iceland, hands down.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow!
I want to hear that story.
Yeah, me too.
So it was the first place that I had ever been where I was like, a woman would come up to me and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "What?" I wanted to, I kind of wanted to act like a Major Payne from you've seen the movie Major Payne, where he has that little kid. And he's like, "I love you, Major Payne," and he's like, gets that look, and he turns him around and put him in a headline. He's like, "What's your angle, boy?" Because, for your average guy, that doesn't happen. And I'm not talking like an average-looking woman either. So I was very suspicious. I was like, something's going on here. This is not normal,
And
she's looking for something, and we had a nice conversation.
And what happened?
What it turned in, that was it.
Oh.
So
come on, Zaxx, think about it. Shieldwall confessed he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, basically GI. Yeah, so it must be a lady killer, a lady magnet.
Viking. He's a Viking, is what he is.
It's a Viking.
So, I will say this about Iceland: it was the only place I've ever been where everybody looked just like me, and they used to come up and like talk to me in Icelandic, and I'm like, sorry. But the other thing is that probably 90% of everybody I ran into spoke better English than I do.
Come on, don't be silly.
No, for real. They're highly educated, college is all free, but everyone's like, "Oh, we should make America just like that place." Yeah, they only have like 300,000 people in the entire country, so it's easy to do, and there's no real, they don't have diversity of culture or religion or anything. They kind of do, but it's not the same. So, America is not Europe, and so that's why we just can't cookie cutter that thing, no matter how successful it is in whatever country.
Europe is very quickly it's not going to be Europe for much longer either. So it seems like
yeah,
fractured Europe coming up soon.
Yeah.
Oh, Lady Barrelfire saying no face reveal. No, first off, I don't even own a camera, so that ain't happening.
Right, Zaxx, come on.
Plus,
he's got a camera. Listen to his mic. Listen to that mic.
This is a Logitech headset plugged into my USB. That's all my computer. That's all it is.
Ooh.
Everyone has all these highfalutin mics and stuff, and this is what I used to game with, like yell at kids on COD or whatever.
Guys, can I just say, you can just point out how crazy this is. Zaxx, how cold is it over there? You're wearing a t-shirt. It's 10 degrees in Japan, so it's not that bad. I'm wrapped up inside. We've got the heater on. I'm like this. What's going on?
You're sick, man. Of course
Yeah,
you're gonna feel that way. Yeah, you gotta, you got the beer bug or whatever.
Just a weakling. Just an English week. What's it? A week-old limey. That's the word.
Oh, great. You're adorable.
Limey.
Look at Lady Balefire. Okay, these stories are like, I was in Iceland in 2001, right after 9/11, a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. Which meant there's no crime there. I felt completely safe. Although interestingly, they have no concept of what a line is. I guess because they don't have so many people or whatever, but you just kind of pile up, and that can cause some problems if you're not used to it.
I thought you meant a line.
Yeah, like a queue.
I thought the same thing. I'm like,
No.
okay.
Like a queue. They didn't.
Dirty
They don't
mind.
they don't know what a queue is or a line or whatever. But it was great. I loved it there. But actually, I've really liked every place I've ever been. Even Turkey was good. Friendly people. You could just drive down a road and be like, "Hey, look, there's a 2,000-year-old Roman ruin."
Right, Shieldwall. I was over there once, just one holiday with the parents, and the people were fantastic. The food was amazing, and you're walking down the street, and there's ruins everywhere, like ancient archaeological sites, just down, on the side of the road.
Yeah, it was interesting, and you could go into a shop, and they would offer you drinks like, "Do you want a soda? Do you want a tea?"
Yeah.
And their Turkish coffee, love it.
Oh,
That's the
nice.
best haircut I've ever had. Second best was in Japan, but the first best was in Turkey, because they basically invented the art of barbery, whatever you want to call it, like being a barber.
Well, they got a buddy of mine there because he was there. This was like maybe last year, 2 years. No, yeah, just after lockdown. So, he was there for work, and they got him there with the whole drinks come in the store thing, and he's paid like $3,500 for a carpet that he did not need by the time he left.
So that was
wow.
where it was. It was the carpet shops, and you could. Now this is back in 1992. The country has changed quite a bit. They've gotten a little more. It's just different how it was, because they were on an upswing, and then the Gulf War happened, and it kind of screwed everything up. The first Gulf War. And okay, so Lady Balefire, that the immigrants coming to Europe saying they're going to turn it into the third caliphate, it is kind of true. I've talked to some people that have dealt with it in Italy, and all these people that are advocating for a lot of these immigrants to come in there haven't actually dealt with any of them, like in a police fashion, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So and that was just it. Like in Turkey, the people there were great, and I spent time in Saudi Arabia. I spent time in Italy. I spent time in Spain. I spent time in England. Those kinds of things. And so all that world travel has, you get to see people. Like, you eat their food, you talk to them, you live with them and stuff, and you see how things are. And there's good and bad people everywhere, but also ideas travel too. And
right.
This is just my personal opinion, but we need to be very careful about not wanting to push back on some things because of how it might, we got to recognize that if things are going to change, if you let it. And it's kind of like the natural progression of things if you look at history. But
there's a reason people want to immigrate to some of the Western countries, right? Because there's good stuff here and opportunities. So we want to try to maintain that, right? Kind of.
Right. And you gotta. The thing is that usually when somebody moves to another country, they will integrate to a point. The issue is that a lot of these communities don't want to integrate whatsoever, uh,
Mhm.
which is something that it's a challenge that has to be mediated. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think that it's inherently a good or bad thing. I'll say that. It's just how things are. Um, and so, but like Lady Balefire is saying here, I had a really good Turkish friend when I was racing. The thing about Turkey is it's like the junction between the Middle East, Asia, and Europe, and it has always been that way. So depending on where you are in the country, there'll be people that are wearing like full burqa, and there'll be other people that are you'd think they were European, and they're Turkish. So
Yeah.
and the chicks there are hot. I'll say that.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and talking about the male gaze or whatever, but when you're a 19 or 20-year-old guy, that's what you notice first.
No, not when you're 19 or 20. Whenever.
Any
Whenever
age.
you notice that.
Yeah,
The thing is, the chicks are hot, and then you see the mum, and you're like, oh, okay, 20 years time.
yeah. Well,
That's
how
the
it
road
goes
she's on.
sometimes. But yeah. See,
I agree, Shelby. By the
it-
way,
it
things
is.
like Christmas should be maintained. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. What do you think? In our countries, things like Christmas should be maintained and should not be changed to be a holiday or happy holidays. I don't like
Absolutely
that.
not. You should have the full freedom if you're a Christian to be like
Yeah.
happy, Merry Christmas. And if you don't like it, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now you need to be tolerant and of other people, but you don't need to be like, well, I'm going to stop doing what I did because it upsets you. It's like, hey, you're the person that's the guest here. I didn't go to other countries and be like, I'm an American. You got to do what I say and all this, even though a lot of people do that, but that's not how I went about it, me personally. But like take Okinawa, for example. So after World War II, it was controlled by the American military up until 1972.
Right. Yeah.
Like they drove on the other side of the road. They used American speed limits. Everything was in imperial, pounds and whatever. And then when they changed it over to Japan, it made that change to metric and all that kind of stuff. But the consequence of that is that if you want to find people that really know American music in the Japanese sphere, that's where you go.
Oh,
That's
right.
where big bands were coming out of there that could imitate or emulate or even make their own sound that was a fusion of Japan and American culture. And you could go down to like they had like a boardwalk area down there, and I mean people were like rapping and breakdancing and all kinds of strictly American culture, and it was seamless. And they liked it. You could get all kinds of stuff down there that was like a fusion. So it was weird, but it was because of that close cultural mixing, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah. I don't think the people of other faiths give a fuck about Merry Christmas. I think it has nothing to do with that. It's about mostly uptight white chicks and or leftists who don't want us to recognize religion at all, and they're going to start with this one and these holidays first and then move on from there. But I don't think that like a Muslim person, if you say like they don't care. They're not going to be insulted by it if they hear you say that.
right.
They also don't need to be protected from it, from hearing someone say Merry Christmas. Like it doesn't do harm to them. Can we move past that, please?
If I
Jewish
learned
people too. They don't. I know. Like where I live, it's very mixed. Like lots of immigrants from all over the world, and we have Christmas lights up, and people say Merry Christmas, even though they don't. They're not saying. They're not celebrating Christ specifically, but they still say it and go through the motions of it, and no one's mad at anyone. It's ridiculous to think they would be.
it's about respect and having respect for other people. But I will tell you this: in all of my travels, I will tell you this: your average Muslim will not stand for that happening to their religion.
Not a
It
chance.
ain't, it ain't going down like that.
No.
So, but again, it's all about respect. And I don't want to use the word tolerance, like, oh, I got to sit here and listen to this, and but it's respecting the other person's beliefs. And if there's a conflict, then you have to agree to disagree and be civil and cordial about it. But there are a lot of factors in that, I think, especially.
Doesn't it feel like Christianity is the easy target? That's why it's like it's us that has to change, according to some people. But.
So it's not. This is my opinion. It's not the Christianity. It's the cultures that have that you're dealing with Christianity. England, America, of these other countries that are very tolerant. At least they are now. You know what I mean? Like some of this, if you tried to pull some of this stuff in, let's say 1930s Germany, I don't think you're going to get very far. But things have changed, and people have become, that's what I was taught in school: be tolerant, respect other people's religions and cultures.
Yeah.
And it should be a two-way street, and but because we are that tolerant, and it's easy to push it, and then we'll be like, well, turn the other cheek, and freedom of speech, and it's supposed to be, we got to be cool with it. And now it's just to the point where if you say anything, you get canceled, and nobody wants to put their foot down. And if they do, then you're some kind of bigot or evil or whatever. And you're saying, look, man, all I'm saying is just respect my shit. That's all I want. You know what I mean? Don't come on my lawn and take giant dumps on it. That's all I'm asking.
I think it's the same culture that, but yeah, it's easy to attack because they're not going to fight back, and that's been what's been happening. It hasn't always been that way. Just ask the Protestants and the Catholics how they got along and they never fought back at each other and were tolerant. They weren't. But for whatever reason now it's a culture of tolerance where they're easy to push around. We don't fight back. We don't stand up for ourselves, and we try to be more and more inclusive to the point where it dilutes the base of the faith that is what people would push back with. We're eroding that, or it's being eroded. And it's the same culture as like everyone gets a trophy. It's the same idea of like we have to be nice to everyone all the time, or else it's going to hurt their feelings. When in reality, the kids know who won or lost. I coached soccer. As soon as I stopped playing soccer, I've been coaching soccer, and kids keep score. They always have. They always will. They know who won and lost. They know who played well and who didn't. Like, even though we stopped keeping score, they never stopped keeping score. So it's the high-minded people who have no contact with these actual, people who do have faith, or kids who do play sports. They just want to say, well, we're going to protect everyone's feelings and everyone should be the same.
Right. And sprinkles are for winners.
Yeah,
everybody gets to go to get ice cream, but the sprinkles are for the winners, because if you don't delineate that, then it doesn't let anybody know. You know how I knew that if I had something that I wasn't achieving correctly, or maybe I talked a little funny, or one ear was higher than the other, or my haircut was bad back in the 80s. Kids at school told you.
Yes.
You heard about it. They made fun of you. Yeah.
That's a great point.
And
yeah,
you have to deal with that. And now it's like, I mean, obviously there's taking it too far. Guys trying to give you swirlies in the bathroom. That's, for anybody who doesn't know, that's where they put your head in the toilet and then flush it.
Is that swirly? I wondered what it was called.
I've never had that happen to me. Somebody attempted it, but
me neither.
They attempted it once. I'll say that. They attempted it once. And I'm not a big guy. I mean, I'm tall, but I'm not like, jacked or anything. I'm not zaxx level of jack.
We don't know that because you're hiding your camera. You won't turn it on. So I
wish I was jacked like zaxx. Then I'd be happy.
You saw pictures on pictures of me if you watched Roman's stream. I was on there.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get onto a workout program, all three of us, together this winter.
I tell you, I can't wait till I get better, get Genki. I'm gonna join the local gym, I think, because just doing push-ups and sit-ups is not doing anything for me, really, is it?
I'll say this, Gray. You look good. Actually, both you do.
Yeah, Gray looks gorgeous.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean. You You don't look American. How about that?
Why is it American guys? And this, I know this is a stereotype. I'm sorry, like sue me, but when I meet American friends, everybody's fucking huge. Everyone's big. I don't mean fat. I mean fucking big.
Oh.
What is that all about?
It's because of the portions. I noticed it
Really?
probably right about 1992, where you go into a restaurant and you get these like giant portions. Like everybody expects to get value out of their food, so they want to take like 2 boxes home of food. And if you grew up in my generation, it was clean your plate. Their kids starving in Japan or whatever. Actually, that's told over from my mom.
Yeah.
We got told the same thing. Yeah.
So there's people, and I'm like, even as a kid, I was like, "What, you want me to fucking mail it to them?" You know. But, so I was eating it. Oh, and I'm sorry, Gray, if I'm cussing on your stream. That's just.
I already did it. I beat you to it.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
worry.
All
It's
right.
been going an hour and a half. No problem.
Yeah, if I really get going, I can really get going. I can't reach Lady Balefire levels of savagery, but
Swearing like a sailor, Lady B.
Yeah, Lady B. But I can.
Joking.
But I can. Thank you for answering, Lady B. 2008, 2009.
Last time she was racing. That's awesome. Would you love to see Lady B racing? I bet she's fucking hot.
Well,
I mean, she is hot.
I mean, sorry, yeah, you know what I mean. I bet watching her race is even hotter.
Was she talking about how she could shift faster than other guys?
She did, but she had a video of her racing on one of my shows that she put on for us.
Okay.
Yeah, she could really go. And they used her in the movie Cars 3, the Disney movie.
Yeah, I remember. I think I joined that stream a little late or something, or I don't know. I'm older and my brain is addled with. I got a lot of information floating around in my head. Some of it really important, some of it really useless.
Me too.
So
most of it useless.
Pretty
really,
much
you
all
walk
of it.
4 to 6
Useless
miles a day?
for me.
Awesome.
I think that's with a job as well, isn't it? She's working very hard at the moment and has to do a lot of walking.
Wait.
Is that right?
She's doing DoorDash. She's walking DoorDash?
Nah.
Oh,
she
right.
doesn't walk.
Maybe not.
I think she just likes to walk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's like my grandmother or something. I had to walk DoorDash uphill both ways in the snow.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day for a 25-cent tip.
Rocks on my backpack.
Yep, rocks. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a hell of a driver. Someone else actually put together the compilation of her driving. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And she would drive against like everybody, right?
Yep.
It wasn't like gender specific or anything.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Lady B. You're in the chat. So, you were the first woman to win a rally. Was it a rally race? I think that's what you said it was. But yeah, she raced against men. She beat them. I mean, I wasn't there. If I was there, she would have lost by quite a bit. But she's lucky that I was in Canada, and so I couldn't get down there and race against her.
Well, she's all that. She's got all that kind of credit. What the hell she's doing on this stream?
Don't tell her that.
Yeah,
Listen,
I know.
Don't keep that part to a.
Everyone's here for
Did I say
zaxx
that out
and
loud?
face reveal by Shieldwall. Everyone's here for your face reveal, baby.
That's okay. Well, I got to get a camera first. No, like, no lie. I do not have a camera at all. I'm not like on a laptop or anything, or on my phone or whatever.
There we go. So she says, first woman to win a national rally in the U.S.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh, awesome.
I bet that made her popular with the guys.
I bet they loved that. Yeah. Standing next to her on the podium, probably not.
No, I was talking about all the simps.
Oh yeah, well there's that. Licking her car or whatever.
Yeah.
Please stomp on me with your gas
Oh my
pedal
god.
foot, Lady
I don't
B.
understand any of that stuff.
I don't
All
either.
the stuff that these guys are into these days is crazy.
I'm curious, just to ask Lady B in the chat. I mean, you don't have to answer, but is the problems with pain at the moment? Was it caused by all the driving, the racing you used to do, or is it just unrelated? Just wondered. So she's walking for exercise. She's walking for her health. She's saying, okay. Wow.
Oh, Krampus Jesus says, use your phone. Man, I got like a $3,000 computer. Why the hell am I going to use my phone?
You have no camera on your monitor or your laptop Come
No,
on, dude.
because it's a tower computer, and I didn't need it. I don't need a camera to like game and stuff. Oh,
Fair.
I'm retired, by the way, so I don't.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
Good for you.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Sweden is rough. That's why they changed governments.
yeah, Lady B. I kind of, well, I can. What is that? Empathize when you can think about it and think of it, but not really experience the same exact thing. I
Sorry
have.
to hear that.
I have a lot of pain too, but it's not like whatever that is.
Oh my God, really?
Fibromyalgia.
Oh,
I thought I was
It's a
reading
rough
something
one.
dirty there for a
yeah,
second.
sorry to hear that, Lady B.
Good night, Nay.
Yeah.
Nay.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
Go to work, mate. Yeah, have a good one
Lady or
in Europe. By the way, shout out to Angry Canadian Zaxx, who I met
Yeah.
for the first time in real life at the Tokyo Comic Con. He's based in Osaka at the moment, so it was good to see him helping out Ginger Ninja. That was cool.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures of that on Twitter, which I'm really new to, by the way, so I don't even really know how to use it. I just kind of click on stuff randomly.
That's all I do.
So, yeah.
Doing it for
And
years.
just like,
Click.
I shouldn't heart my own tweets, right?
Oh yeah, you can. It's okay.
No, I know not to do that. That makes sense. But yeah, but I don't know how to like. I'm trying to figure out how to do all the other stuff on there. Wow, you've had that for 20 years. What, did you just like wake up one day and start feeling like crap, or?
No way.
Well, I don't know how.
Canadians calling you up, Gray. Sorry.
Oh my God, I'm just looking for a photo I want to share with you guys because I got
Oh.
asked in a comment, that's a guy cosplaying as that character, isn't it? And I was like, no, she wasn't a guy. Like, for some reason he was asking me in Spanish. That's weird.
Oh, I know the picture you're talking about. I was a little sus on that one. I had to look at it a couple times and be
great.
like, okay.
It was just my crappy quality phone. Why isn't it letting me share? Come on, StreamYard, you can do it. There we go. It's just a guy in drag.
Oh, dude, that's close.
Ugh.
Really? I mean, she's not got much upstairs, but
Well, see, you can't tell these days, especially if that has been photoshopped or ran through a Chinese AI or something. You know, but
look at the weird rib thing here, the rib cage thing, back thing. What's going on there?
that's
that kind of freaked me out.
wait. So first off, before I make any comments, this is a woman, right? I don't
Adam's
want to
apple,
wind up like
see.
I don't want to wind up like drunk 3PO or Az.
No, according to her Twitter, yeah, she's a cosplayer. Like, if you check out her Twitter account, Mamma Mia. But I can see what they were saying, but I thought, this is a Japanese look to her. Definitely.
I think
Yeah.
it's definitely got to be. It's got to be a girl. No, Adam's apple. Her arms are not. She doesn't have any definition. Like, there's no extra muscle on there. I think it's got to be a girl. But
Yeah.
it's the way she's standing. It looks like her body shape is weird because
Yeah.
she's got it tilted into the side. So it looks like she has no hips, basically, by the way she's standing.
Yeah,
But I'm sure she does.
I can see that. Yeah, you're right. Oh my God, it could be a guy, but there's no little bulge down below.
Well,
Maybe
if
she
you put the
cuts.
leg, the leg could be hiding it. This is not the right, And it's so jacked up is that we actually have to sit here and have a conversation about it these days.
Yeah.
When if this was 25 years ago, you'd be like, oh yeah, she's hot. Now it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Run.
But,
Run.
No Adam's apple, says Shelby. There you go.
yeah.
I mean, I heard her
Hey, what
talking
is-
like
what
she
did
was
Shelby say?
being photographed at the time, and I'll send it in a sec. So I heard her talking, and her voice it wasn't a guy's voice. Seriously, you can tell it wasn't one of those husky Japanese sexy women that could be a guy's voice. It was a proper like hi, thank you very much, like really very cute anime style voice. So and that's why I was saying giant
Christ,
cock.
Jesus, that's a yeah.
Exactly, Shelby. B could be still a lady. Come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm big, small. I like them all. They're, I'm very. Maybe it's because of all the world travel I've done, but yeah. That's true, Nosferatu, but not anywhere as near as Thailand. It's not even
I've been to
close.
one, mate. I've been to a tranny bar in Japan, so and I know the difference. Just saying. I think I work in one as well, Zaxx.
Did you really?
No, I'm joking.
What's it?
Oh, why not?
I
Was it
could do
for
that, couldn't I?
Was it for a show? Like it had like a variety show or something, or?
I was drunk and I went into the wrong. I went upstairs. There was 2 doors. I went in the wrong door, and it's like,
drunk.
oh, wow, a whole new world for Gray. What's this?
If you have enough to drink, Gray, you might not find out till the next morning. You're good.
Yeah, wake up like, oh my god, she was really hot last night.
Yeah.
And then you see the stubble on her chin. Oh my god.
No.
What happened?
This right here is for me. Hold on, let me see if I can spell it right.
Okay, we got Nosferatu saying A over T, and then Lady B T over A. Come on, what's the answer?
Wait, I don't have the symbol on my keyboard.
Why not both?
For me,
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
I'm
trying to
Lady
put
B.
that
I'm Lady B.
little
It's got to say.
thing.
Yeah.
Nah.
T over A. Sorry, sorry,
it's,
guys.
It's both. It's both for me.
It's both a combination of the two.
It's all about the ratio. You got to have the right ratio, and then it's good. And
It's
also
all about the heart. What she's like on the inside. You guys.
It is. That's after you get past this first part. You know, it's like in Japan they have all that plastic food and outside in the little glass case outside the shop. So you go up and you say, "Oh, that looks good," and then you go in there. It's kind of like that, but it's got to be the ratio. It's got to be correct.
Like North Korea.
What?
Guys, it's late. It's late, isn't it? So it's okay to share this now. This is that cosplayer's Twitter. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Are you ready? Here we go.
Do it. That's a girl.
Yeah, this is much.
Yeah.
Oh, the memories. Anyway,
Mamma mia.
All right.
So here's what. Okay, that's getting a little.
Little bit risque there.
Yeah, here's the thing about Japan, at least from my experience and perspective, is that in America I just didn't really have that much success. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of it had to do with me. It was just like, ooh, just got tattoos and stuff, yucky. But
Not now.
well,
tattoos. Everyone has tattoos.
yeah,
Where are we?
but over there, I feel like when I was like 20, I could actually have gone up and like talked to her and been like, hey, what's up? And like something might have happened.
Come on, guys.
But-
I'm not crazy, man. That's not a guy, is it? Come on.
not a guy.
Have I lost my mind? It's not
It's
a
not a
guy.
guy.
is it?
No,
Okay.
that's not a guy.
Thank
Not
you.
at all.
Thank you.
You're good.
That's it.
Oh, it was people in chat saying that's a guy.
No, I'm just hearing it in my head, like maybe it's me. Maybe I'm taking crazy pills.
No, you're good.
Okay, there we
Lady
go.
Billfire, I have tattoos, but
Were they ever Krampus? Yeah. This full simp over Anna for sure.
That's right to say. That's actually him. How did the photos leak?
We've never heard his voice, her voice. We don't know.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Damn, Nosferatu, you hot. You hotter, you.
But I don't know. It was me, Lady Balefire. It was me. It was something about me. I don't know. Maybe I was too nerdy or something back then. Now, everyone's like, "Oh, you play D&D and you like Warhammer and all this other stuff. Cool." And back then they were like, "Get the hell away from me, you nerd." And so with this is gonna sound messed up, but the language barrier really helped.
Yay.
So, yeah, it was because your conversations were kind of limited to start with.
It's borderline lolly, says Nosferatu. It's not. I don't even know what that means. I'm too pure and innocent for those kind of words.
See, Lady Balefire, that's the key ingredient there. Recently, you started playing D&D. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah. And it's cool, and then everybody sees how it's kind of like acting if you really get into it, and that's why all of these actors are into it now.
Yeah. Well, I think that one of the first ones was Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
he kind of got people doing it because he's cool enough that he can do whatever he wants, and people are gonna be like, oh well.
Well, he was in, wasn't he in Magic Mike
And
or
True
whatever?
Blood.
And True Blood? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the chicks were like, "Oh, he does it. Well, I guess it's okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he played football too, I think. So he's kind of got it all. And he's married to Sofia Vergara. So, and now she's getting a little bit up there in age now, but at the time, she was first round draft pick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, she's still good to go. What's this Lady Belfast saying? Started playing tabletop Star Wars when I was in high school.
Oh, guys, this is the last one, I swear. Yeah, and then I'll stop. I'll stop sharing. Here's one. Are you ready? You ready for this one? This could get the stream taken
6
down.
years ago or something. Is that what it is? Yeah, you're take it down. You're gonna the stream's gonna get
That's
nuked.
a girl for sure.
Yeah, it's a
trap. It could be a trap, though. You never know. If so,
Crap.
she's had some great work. But it's not just this. It's the pure, like, beautiful, blemish-free skin. There's something about that in Japan. I'm not being it's not a racist comment.
No.
It's like they really praise, or they really what's the word? They love, the porcelain kind of white doll style. That goes back to the geishas, wearing the white out makeup and stuff. They've got this thing about blemishes. It's not cool. So, God, she's just her skin.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
get
mean,
lost in that skin.
I like it too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cramp. But so you played D&D with
That's
Joe?
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Was it like a
Meltdown
walking
Comics?
thing? You just roll up in there, be like, "What's up?" Kick the door in. I'm playing D&D.
Joe Meltdown.
Krampus has some stories because Krampus worked, I think, on a lot of movie sets and TV.
Oh, okay,
So-
okay, that's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, look at this chat, man. We got some chat.
Krampus, you're spoiling it for me, man. You're spoiling it all. Jesus, there was no bulge down below. It was all me.
But yeah, look at that Krampus rocking it, and Lady Balefire winning all kinds of races and stuff.
We were talking Serenity, I think it was.
Yeah.
Gray on your channel, and Krampus is in the chat, and he's like, I think he was colonizer at the time, but he's like, oh yeah, I got a tour of that set with Joss. Like, you need to be on the show, Krampus. Not us.
Krampus, come on, spill.
I have the ultimate edition of the DVD. You were there.
That's
Gotta get you on.
crazy.
Yeah, awesome stories. I think you worked on Buffy as well. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that.
Oh my
So-
God, I loved that show back in the day.
Oh, it was
Zaxx,
a
Buffy.
loot crate event. That's before that all went belly up, right? Like yeah.
Mm-hmm. Buffy Angel. He really had a murderer's row of hits for a while there.
Yeah.
Nosferatu, man, he's killing me. I thought Krampus was a monster that only shut up once a month.
Wasn't it Krampus night the other night? I think Purple Valkyrie was talking about it.
Yeah,
maybe the
yeah.
5th,
I don't think it's the
December
same kind of Krampus that he's talking about. Although Purple Valkyrie might have been talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met her in Dallas. That was pretty awesome with her and Salty.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Right, you did.
Oh my God, it was so effing hot in that building, and not the good kind. But
I heard you guys were
It looked
dying
it.
and no
It looked
food
it.
either.
Yeah.
and well, it was just they were overwhelmed. They didn't have what they needed. It was too hot to eat in there anyway.
I don't blame them. It's just a bad situation. Like,
Yeah.
Well, also I think a lot of because it was in Texas, it was so centrally located. A lot more people showed up than maybe they thought were going to be there.
mm-hmm. It was packed just from. I watched some of the videos that came out, and it was just unreal. Yeah,
Me
so
too.
Buffy and then Angel.
Awesome. Not jealous at all. Oh my God.
Oh, I got a question for Krampus. Hottest cast member in real life?
Giles.
I think I maybe watched a half episode of Buffy, and I saw like Angel like one time or something. Who's the blonde haired guy, Spike or whatever?
Spike, the vampire. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of looked like Billy Idol. That's
Yes,
how old
he
I am.
did.
Is that I'm like
Yeah.
he looks
Real
like Billy
wild
Idol.
child. Okay.
He did
Oh, sorry.
stand-in work?
He did
Wow.
Where's
extra
MacArthur?
and stand-in work. Okay, I thought he was like working, like making the show kind of thing as well. That's awesome.
So that means Krampus Jeeves is either super hot or he looks like some kind of like background character.
Maybe he looks like a vampire.
Lumberjack or like a cook or something. Or you know what I mean? How they had all kinds of people walking around the back and stuff.
Yeah, Charisma Carpenter. She would have been my pick too, I think. Cordelia Chase.
No, I saw her in let's just say a film on Netflix, and I was disappointed when I saw.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something
her.
else. I saw her in a short film.
Oh my god, she wasn't what I thought she was.
Well, I mean, that was quite a while ago now. If you look back, when she was doing that. But Angel had they had one of the best characters. Wesley, he had one of the coolest developments through the course of those two shows. Great character.
Okay, guys, should we wrap things up? I can't believe it. We've been going for an hour 50. That's amazing.
It's your show, man. Whatever you want to do. Maybe like, screw Shieldwall, kick him, man.
Let's boot Shieldwall. No, of course not. That was awesome. It was great you coming on and hearing your stories from Japan and the UK as well. We've got these connections, mate. I never even realised.
Look, here comes Flaccid.
Here comes Flaccid. Yeah.
So with those guys, so I didn't realize that there was like Flaccid Gator and Flaccid Dawn for like a long time.
They're a couple.
But I didn't. Well, it's more like they're conjoined twins or something using the same brain, and you can never tell who's on the keyboard or what the hell. Or it's probably a third person. It's like a sock puppet account or something. I don't know.
Well, Dawn is the bottom of the pair.
Yeah.
He claims to be a power bottom, but I don't even know if that's true. He could just be a straight up bottom. But
I like the little avatar thing with the the head. I was like, okay.
The droopy phoenix.
Yeah, the droopy phoenix. Yeah. The Two Towers stream. Roman asked if people want to be on there, and I was like, sure, whatever. Well, not like that. I'm like, whatever, man. It was more like I'd like to do it if
lazy bottom. Yeah. So I'm going to tease our Two Towers stream. So on the 30th.
Do it.
Of December, we're putting together a show that's called 12 Hours for the Two Towers. And it's for the 20th anniversary of the Two Towers being released. We're doing a 12-hour stream. We're going to have lots of guests. It's going to be a come and go kind of show. I want to have all three movies during that time play through my Discord server or someone else's Discord server if they want to. But so that during the entire show, the films are going to be playing the extended editions. And we're going to have some games, some trivia. Flask is going to show his face and possibly his feet.
No way.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, he hasn't agreed to that, but it's going to happen. And so we got some fantastic guests lined up already. We're going to get some more. And we just kind of want to really, really celebrate that film and that trilogy because it's just that good.
It's the first movie I saw, zaxx, in after moving over to Japan. So I came over here end of 2002, beginning of 2003. I felt like I was in the middle of, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know anybody. I was homesick. And I went to see that. And for 2.5 hours on a February afternoon, I was taken to another world kind of thing. It was absolutely unforgettable. Two Towers. I'll never forget seeing that here.
And I really, I want to see these movies released wide again
in the cinemas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't you? I would go. I think we all would go. And I know that it happens at the Fathom events and there's smaller cinemas that do show them, but if this was this could be really a moment because there's nothing coming out, nothing to look forward to in the theaters because of the COVID stuff. Really, let's put them out, put the extended in the theaters, do one June, one July, one August, something like that. And just take my money, please. But in the meantime,
I'm still waiting for Gadar.
Yeah,
Gadar to be released in the cinemas.
Make pull.
Gadar.
Make pull.
So yeah. So you saw this first one or second one in Japan? Great.
Two Towers. I saw the first one still in Manchester, and then I think it came out later here, so it was like February 2003. Does that lines up, doesn't it? It's kind of a couple of months late, and I was feeling kind of lonely and freaked out and didn't know what was going on, and then forgot all my worries, just like lost, in this amazing movie, this world.
I saw all 3 of them while I was in Okinawa, and the first one had some really cool, like the kanji for the subtitles was this really, really cool script. And then the second one didn't have it. I was like, what the? It looked really cool.
I remember that on the DVD release. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was.
Where were you, Zaxx, when you saw the 2 towers, the first?
Oh, I was here where I am right now. I went with my ex-wife, and she fell asleep during the Battle of Helm's Deep.
That's why she's your ex.
Why
and that's some things are not meant to be. Some things are not meant to be.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's I took that as a sign.
Shelby, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and thanks for your good wishes. Yeah, I hope I'm feeling 100% soon. Me too. I tell you what, one thing I didn't expect, one of the symptoms of COVID, which no one told me about it. Fucking hell, man, I feel horny sometimes. It's crazy.
Really?
Wait, that's not a symptom of COVID. That's just being a dude.
That's insane, though. That should be the opposite. It should be like, no, I've got no power, no energy. Sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Hey, what are you going to do, Gray?
That's all that toxic testosterone you got.
Yes, true.
All this watching Zaxx's streams, maybe, that's getting me all fired up. Maybe that's what it is.
That is true. And also, you got to look at it. Is it every time that Flaccid Phoenix comes into the chat? Is that when it happens? Because that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that might be a sign.
I never thought of that. The flaccid power. The power of the flaccid.
Yep. Exactly. The 2 of them together, like the Wonder Twins, they touch little flaccid heads.
They touch flaccid heads and
exactly. And they're like form of whatever. I can't think of something right now.
so Gray's gonna end the stream and go nudge Mrs. Wakizashi.
Not quite the reaction after thinking about Flaccid Phoenix. I don't know why, but when I think about Flaccid Phoenix, I get this image in my head.
Is that when he's going to cast the spell to make the mist rideable, so that the king can ride over to get
that's
to
right.
What's her name? Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's his silver-capped headpiece that does it for me.
It was Helen Mirren in that.
He has
did
a
it for me back then.
On that note, then, guys, should we finish up? So, Zaxx, you've got the 2 towers planned for the 30th, yeah, December 30th. That sounds awesome. Anything else coming up tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 9, live stream. Tomorrow, Wednesday, live stream at 9 o'clock.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey.
Culture Casino is going to be coming on, and we are going to talk about. We're going to have a Smasher Pass and Tom Cruise showdown.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be fun. So you should all come by and hang out.
Great. What's your streaming schedule on Friday nights? He's asking. What is it? 11 p.m. Central?
Yeah.
Do the movie review stream, that's all.
Yeah.
Friday night state time. And Shieldwall, thank you so much for coming on. Keep me company.
Thanks for having me on here, and sorry if I rambled or whatever. Usually when I go on a stream, I have like a prepared set of notes on what I'm going to talk about, and there's other people to kind of moderate what I'm doing, but here I'm just kind of freewheeling it, I guess.
Dude, you were great.
Yeah. I'm still trying to restrain myself because I can really get going. So
you should man. You should do a solo stream where you just go off, on a what do you call it? A Shieldwall. I'm gonna say Wakizashi Waffle then. Shieldwall shout out or something.
Yeah.
It would just be a bunch of gibberish, I think. But yeah, I mean, thanks for the encouragement on that. I'm still, I think, a long way from that. I just like coming on and talking and stuff and being in the chat and hanging out.
Don't make me jealous, Nas.
I know. Lady B loves a good ramble, Shieldwall, and Nosferatu is saying that Shieldwall is a big old hunk. How do you know? That's the question, Nosferatu. How do you know? Have you seen what we have not seen?
Yeah, Nos was in the. I think he was in the stream with the Veterans Day stream with.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Roman.
Ah.
Yeah, with Roman. Yeah. So.
I missed that. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks again. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Let's go. Say good night. Good health. God bless you.
Good night.
Good. Wakizashi's Tea House. Please subscribe.